Tonight on Upload Records Music News, a surprising twist in the ongoing Journey farewell tour speculation. For weeks now, fans of Journey have been wondering if the impossible might actually happen. Could legendary former frontman Steve Perry finally reunite with the band one last time? Well, according to Perry himself, not so fast. The longtime voice behind classics like Don't Stop Believin', Faithfully, and Open Arms is now directly shutting down rumors that he might appear during Journey's rumored farewell tour, despite comments made recently by keyboardist Jonathan Cain suggesting Perry was at least thinking about it. And honestly, fans are feeling every emotion right now. Because for Journey fans, this isn't just another rock rumor. This is one of the biggest what-if stories in classic rock history. Now, if you've followed Journey over the years, you already know the relationship between Steve Perry and the band has always been complicated, deeply emotional, sometimes respectful, sometimes distant, and always surrounded by mystery. Perry helped turn Journey into one of the biggest arena rock bands on earth during the late 1970s and 1980s. His voice became the sound of an entire generation. Those soaring melodies, those emotional performances, that unmistakable tone, it helped define what melodic rock music could be. And even decades later, people still connect Journey directly to Steve Perry. That connection never really disappeared. Even after Perry left the band in the late 1990s, fans never stopped hoping for one more reunion, one more stage appearance, one more song, one more moment. And recently, it suddenly felt possible again. The speculation exploded after Jonathan Cain gave an interview where he mentioned Steve Perry had apparently been thinking about appearing during Journey's farewell tour. That single comment immediately sent social media into overdrive. Fans started imagining massive stadium finales. Maybe Perry walking out unexpectedly during Faithfully. Maybe a final performance of Don't Stop Believing with current singer Arnel Pineda standing beside him. Maybe the emotional closure fans have wanted for nearly 30 years. And honestly, you could understand why people got excited. Because over the past several years, Steve Perry has slowly become more visible again. He returned to music after a very long absence. He released new material. He began doing interviews again. He even appeared publicly with Journey members on rare occasions. There were moments where the walls seemed lower than before. Not fully open, but lower. So when Jonathan Cain hinted that Perry was thinking about a possible appearance, people ran with it immediately. But now, Steve Perry himself is responding directly. And according to Perry, those reunion rumors are simply not true. In a recent statement, Perry reportedly clarified that he never agreed to appear on a farewell tour and pushed back against the growing online speculation. That response has now completely changed the conversation surrounding Journey's future plans. And, honestly, it also reminds fans how delicate this whole situation still is. Because even though Perry clearly appreciates the legacy of Journey, he's also been careful for years about protecting his personal peace, his independence, and the emotional boundaries surrounding the band's history. People sometimes forget just how emotional Perry's departure from Journey really was. This wasn't just a normal lineup change. There were health struggles, burnout, pressure, internal disagreements, and years of emotional distance afterward. Journey continued successfully without him, first with Steve Augeri, and eventually with Arnel Pineda, whose discovery story became legendary all on its own. And to Journey's credit, they rebuilt themselves into a huge touring act again. Arnel earned enormous respect from fans worldwide for stepping into one of the hardest vocal roles in rock history. And over time, many fans came to appreciate Journey in two different eras: the classic Steve Perry era, and the modern touring era led by Arnel. But even with all that success, the Steve Perry question never fully went away, because Perry's voice remains emotionally tied to those songs in a way that's almost impossible to separate. When people hear Open Arms, they hear Steve Perry. When people hear Separate Ways, they hear Steve Perry. When people hear Faithfully, they hear Steve Perry. That emotional connection is incredibly powerful. And maybe that's why these rumors spread so quickly. Fans want closure. They want a final chapter. They want to believe that after all these years, everyone could stand together one last time under the lights and celebrate the music that changed millions of lives. But reality, especially in rock history, is usually more complicated than fantasy. And Steve Perry has always seemed cautious about reopening certain doors unless it genuinely feels right to him personally. That doesn't mean he hates Journey. It doesn't mean there's bitterness every second. It just means life moves on differently for different people. Some artists crave the road forever. Others eventually step away from the spotlight and protect their peace. Perry has often sounded like someone who values reflection more than nostalgia. And honestly, that may be difficult for some fans to accept because nostalgia is powerful, especially when it comes to Journey. This band's music became part of weddings, graduations, breakups, road trips, family memories, entire lifetimes. Journey songs aren't just classic rock tracks. For many people, they're emotional landmarks. So naturally, fans keep hoping for one final reunion moment. And maybe Jonathan Cain's comments simply reflected optimism rather than certainty. Maybe he genuinely hoped Perry would consider it. Maybe conversations happened privately that sounded encouraging at the time. But based on Perry's latest response, fans probably should not expect a reunion appearance right now, at least not officially. And in classic rock history, we've learned never to say never. Bands reunite after decades. Feuds suddenly disappear. Farewell tours somehow turn into another farewell tour 5 years later. We've all seen it happen. So could Steve Perry someday appear with Journey again? Technically, anything is possible. But at this moment, Perry himself appears to be drawing a very clear line between rumor and reality. And honestly, there's also something respectable about that clarity. Instead of allowing fans to endlessly speculate, he addressed it directly. That may disappoint some fans, but it also prevents false hope from spiraling even further. Meanwhile, Journey continues moving forward with their current lineup and massive touring schedule. Despite lineup changes, legal tensions over the years, and endless speculation surrounding Perry, the band's catalog continues connecting with newer generations every year. Younger audiences still sing every word to Don't Stop Believin'. Streaming numbers remain massive. Arena crowds still explode when those opening piano notes begin. That legacy remains untouchable. And honestly, maybe that's the bigger story here. Whether Steve Perry returns or not, the music already survived generations. The songs became bigger than any single moment, bigger than any feud, bigger than any rumor. And that's incredibly rare in rock history. Still, fans will probably continue hoping, because hope is part of what Journey's music has always represented. Perseverance, emotion, belief, connection. And maybe that's why this story hits people so deeply. It's not just about whether Steve Perry walks onto a stage again. It's about what Journey means to people emotionally after all these years. For some fans, a reunion would feel like reconnecting with a piece of their own past. For others, the music itself is already enough. Either way, Steve Perry's latest comments seem to settle the rumor for now. No confirmed reunion. No confirmed farewell appearance. And according to Perry, the speculation simply isn't true. But in the world of classic rock, fans will probably keep watching, keep hoping, and keep believing, right up until the lights finally go down. And honestly, with Journey, maybe that feeling never completely fades.